Whoa.
All right, welcome. It's the one and only guy Johnny. We're here with 5D Attraction, and I'm here with a very special guest, man. You know, the one and only Narek. Did I say the name correct?
Yeah, that was correct, man.
Perfect,
Perfect.
man.
Like,
Yeah, yeah. Let them know a little bit about yourself, man.
so what's up, guys? I'm Narek. So I'm living in Holland, and I'm a sports coach. I'm a personal trainer and lifestyle coach, and basically that started way later than my game and with dating and with women. Like that interest was always there, and it was there because like I have like four sisters. I grew up with four sisters,
Right.
and the feminine energy was a lot of around me, and I was pretty interested in that. And my sisters used to tell me a lot about women, of course, and how it works with the male dynamic, and what are the things that you're supposed to have as a man. And where I'm from is pretty traditional. I'm from Armenia. My roots are from Armenia, so that's like a little bit Asia, Middle East, and everything there is traditional. You know, women got their role, and men got their role. And when I came over here as a little child, I noticed that the things wasn't working out here as the way it was working out back home, and that made me like think about all this stuff. And later on in life, I was always doing sports, top sport even. I'm a black belt judoka. I used to do a lot of sports, and then I quit like when I was like 15, and then I went over like into the school stuff because you wouldn't get any money with judo,
Yeah.
and it wasn't popular at all. So I had to choose like what you're going to do. You're going to like do judo like 4 or 5 times and a week and two trainings a day with from 2 hours, or you're just going to focus on school and make your living there. So then I got into sports, and now I'm fully like my work. All I do is all independent. I got my own company. I help people with sports and with food and all health related things.
Nice, 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 man. So that's very interesting, man. That's a unique dynamic there that you came from a different country, you know, into a new country, which is big already. But then the relationship dynamic is very different. And me growing up in the States, I noticed that even there's a different dynamic when it comes to relationships here that might be similar more so to Holland. I know in the sense that it's a quote unquote progressive, and the dynamic, isn't necessarily the traditional, roles like it was before.
Yeah.
So, what were I'm just curious to see like some of the things that you noticed or challenges that you experienced with adapting to like the new age women, I guess, or the women of our modern day. You know what I mean? I'm sure we might see similar things because I know in the States the traditional thing out here is like dead. It's like it's like a nuclear bomb completely. So I'm curious to see in Holland. I don't know if it might be as crazy as it is in the States, but at least that shift from Armenia to Holland. Like, what have you noticed?
Well, pooh. Um, well, I can tell you, like, it's a disaster here as well. Like,
It's all over the place right now.
it's all over the place right now because it's also it's like a virus, like because we are so connected with our phones. If some idiot sends out an idea, everybody starts to like grab the idea, not even knowing if it's true or false, because people don't research these days.
Yes, you
Read
know.
so much books to really know and understand what I'm saying and what I'm standing for, because or else you will fall for anything.
Exactly.
So what I noticed was like the role, like as we call it, it
Hmm.
was they don't have it. Like I didn't see it. I could only see it at home with my father and my mother,
Wow.
like maintaining that balance, the yin and the yang.
Mm.
And what I would see like from Dutch people, if I would look straight to Dutch only, like, because we got so multicultural people living here. There's a lot of people living here
Mhm.
from different cultures. But the Dutch people, um, yeah, that's it's like the woman has everything on in house. You know, she got the, like we call it here. She got the tight jeans on here. You
Okay,
know,
okay, you got that. Okay, okay,
she's the one that's saying basically what's going to happen at home, and the men just do what they have to do,
exactly.
and they don't really stand up for that part, or really navigate or choose their own way within the being a leader in the home. You know, being the man at home. You
Exactly.
don't see that. I don't see that.
Wow, man. Yeah, that's huge, man. I even saw something yesterday, man. I'm watching a show. You know, I be watching some of these shows, you know, with my girls sometimes of Married at First Sight and these shows. It's hilarious, man. Because so that, you know, the dude's about to get married to some girl. You know, I have my own views on all that, but and the, you know, he asks, any final advice before I go there, and he's like, you know what? If she says you did anything wrong, apologize. You know, he was like, she make sure you know she's always right. And if she's mad at you and you thought you didn't do nothing wrong, apologize again. Just let her have it. And I was like, that is the worst fucking advice I've ever heard in my life. Like how weak, weak, but one thing I'm interested in, your experience growing up. I mean, you was doing you said you were a black belt in judo.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that is dope, man. That's lit. And you know, doing that in your high school years, man, how did that affect you relative to the other guys growing up? I can imagine you probably had a little bit more when we talk about masculine energy. Um, you know, I'm sure you weren't going around just doing judo on anybody, in your school or nothing like that. But how did you feel yourself relative to a lot of people around you that you had the chance to be tapped into the martial arts and defense? Would you say it benefited you, or what would you say are the things that how did that affect your life?
Well, I have to say, like, when I was younger, I didn't really, I wasn't conscious about that fact.
Yeah.
I think later on in life, or as I grew up, I would say like maybe around 19, 20, 21, I really noticed like the weapons and the gears I got in life,
Hmm.
which I wasn't conscious of.
Wow.
See, before when I was little, I was doing judo because there were also a lot of things happening around it. Like my father was really the one that was pushing me to do judo
Hmm.
and to be a winner and to go do all the challenges and all the competitions, because I used to go to Germany, Belgium, France, here
Wow.
in Holland as well. I'm a Southside champion,
Wow.
and um, basically during that time, my mind, I wasn't really motivated, but I was doing it. But
Yeah.
I wasn't doing it for the right cause, you know. I wasn't there with my mind yet. I
Yeah.
was doing it because basically I didn't want to let my father or my parents down
Hmm.
because of the performance. You know, I had to perform. I had to perform. I was a lot of pressure on me. I
Yeah.
was the youngest child and I was the only boy.
Wow.
So he gotta be someone,
Yeah.
you know. So you can understand my father, like,
You're the first son, right? He waited basically. You was the fifth, and then you finally got a boy. So
yeah. So
wow.
I had a lot of pressure on me,
Yeah.
and I didn't notice, but because it was also my dad couldn't communicate that well to me, you know.
Yeah. Exactly.
He had been through a lot of shit as well.
Yeah.
You know, he didn't have like a mother father home setting.
Exactly.
His father,
Wow.
he left the home. So things like hugging or showing emotions, all that, I didn't have that.
Wow.
So if you call it masculine, I don't really call that masculine, but it's like some pain somewhere, you know, that you
Exactly.
just cannot show it. So
Exactly.
I cannot get it.
Hmm.
So I have to do with what I have to do, and that's like being hard, show no emotion, and
Yeah.
go perform, you know.
Yeah.
But how can you perform when you're not in touch with your intuition or your emotions and intentions as well, you know?
Yeah. That's very powerful, man, because it speaks to the fact of that balance. You know, it's not just pure raw masculine energy.
Oh,
Is because that'll have you dried out, cold, and you know, not not balanced. You need the feminine energy just as much, and it's that fine balance between the two. That's very powerful, man. Because yeah, I mean, I can imagine, as you've seen in the field, there's a lot of guys that might have a very tough persona, but
Yeah,
sometimes you can have such a tough persona, man, and that really isn't good for your game, even because you lack the ability to communicate. I've seen in a lot of relationships or dating dynamics, a lot of guys that don't have that the feminine energy side,
yeah,
they can come off as very attractive to women,
yeah. At the
but
first
once,
sight,
what you say?
at the first sight.
Yeah, at the first sight, she's like, there's something about him. He looks, especially when the guy look wounded, or he just like, but then once they start to communicate, you realize, like, man, he's missing a lot of, because a big part of, communication, attraction, seduction is that feel side as well, where you can vibe with a girl, where you can vibe with somebody and
Definitely,
relax. And to
definitely.
be able to turn it on and off, that's what triggers that power. Like, for her to know that you can be just playing around, laughing, whatever. But then when something happens, you're like, oh, what's going on? And she feels the shift, and then she's like, oh, wow.
Yeah,
So it's like, it's funny, man, because I noticed with a lot of super quote unquote alpha guys, right? And super quote unquote masculine guys,
yeah,
a lot of those dudes, man, are the most, they're like a putty when it comes to a girl, man. It's crazy. Like, they'll beat everyone's ass, man, but when it comes to their relationship, man, their girl is just slapping them around like crazy,
yeah.
So I'm happy you brought up that dynamic, man. You know?
And like let me go a little bit deeper. I
Mm-hmm.
keep it very short, a little bit deeper
Mm-hmm.
into that part.
Mm-hmm.
Why do those kind of men like um come across like that? Because they can be all this alpha and not in touch with their feminine side.
Mm-hmm.
But I think when they're at that part, like they want to be alpha more for the men
Yeah.
instead of the women.
Mm-hmm.
You see, because some you don't have to be all pumped up to be really like getting the girl,
Yeah, yeah.
but they cannot get the girl, so they get pumped up just to show like you don't know that I'm having a girl, but I'm actually not. But you might think that I have,
Mm.
and you might not want to fight me because I'm like, you know, I think when it's something like that, or it's a feeling like that you have of those men, I think they're more being masculine for the men than they're trying to be masculine for the women.
Exactly. That makes a lot of sense right there.
Yeah,
That makes a lot of sense, and takes back to like A Morgan and things like that. It's almost, it makes you just think of the fact that that masculine energy is there to protect. That's really dope. Like, and when it comes to women, though, you see they don't need it. So, it's very interesting, man. Now for yourself, I'm curious to see, man, how did you get into game, man? Like, or, understanding the science. I mean, you have four sisters, so I'm sure you saw a lot of dynamics and just the feminine energy side. I'm sure that helped balance you pretty well, the fact that you did get to see four sisters. But what brought you into the game? A lot of the time it's a shitty situation. A lot of the time that gets us into it, right? But or you might be curious. So I'm interested to hear how you got into it, man.
yeah. So basically, how I got into it is like, um, I was like, well, what is I? Like when I was around like 15, 16,
Oh, nice,
17.
man. You started early, man. Me too, man.
Yeah, man. Like 15, 16, 17, you started like, talking with girls and get them out. It was in elementary school,
Mm-hmm.
or I mean, high school. Um, and you were like dating, going to movies, all that experiences was for me the first time, but
Yeah,
also like it's a shitty spot, right? You
yeah.
learn a lot about yourself, and so it started with that, and then I came across a lot of problems, like, okay, I do have like four sisters that could tell me anything I want, and they did before I got into like dating and stuff. So I was like fully prepared, like if I have this and I got this and I do fitness, I was doing judo and stuff,
Yeah.
then there will be no problem.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I thought. But
Exactly.
then, but then you don't want to always ask your sisters for questions or feedback. So you're just trying to go through your own pain with it.
Exactly.
And So yeah, you came across some girls you were dating, but then it wasn't. You were also young. You were also young, so it wasn't gonna work out anyway. But
Mm-hmm.
then as the years passed by, I had this good friend of mine. He was going through the same period of time with the same things,
Mm-hmm.
and he gave me this book. It was in Dutch, and it called Master Flirt.
Ooh, I like that name, man.
Yeah, it was called Master Flirt, and he was like, "Yo, you need to read this, man." I was like, "Really? Like, what the fuck? Reading a book about how to pick a woman? You
Yeah.
know? fuck, fuck this shit."
Yeah, man.
But it was the best thing I could do. Like, I
Right.
read the book, and then I noticed, like, okay, wait, we got our own perspective doing the game and dating,
Yeah.
but women do have their own reaction to it
Mm-hmm.
and their own vision to it.
Mm-hmm.
So it made it clear for me to see, like, what's their side and how do they want to be, like, approached, and what conversations do they want to have,
Mm.
which I could, like, learn and basically be more successful in it. So
Mm.
that's where I started, and then, like, later on, what's this book, like this famous book, this
Mm-hmm. Is it the
uh,
game or?
yeah,
Oh no.
game
Yeah, yeah.
game, or from this other guy with this head. Oh, I forgot,
Oh, the
totally.
mystery, the
Yeah,
mystery,
Mystery Method.
yeah, the mystery method. Yeah.
Yeah, so after, later on, Mystery Method came, and a lot of YouTube videos with people explaining, like, dating and stuff. And of
Yeah.
course, I used to watch someone who's proper, like, not this pussy,
Yeah.
someone who's masculine, but also who got this feminine thing going on, you know.
Exactly.
So that's how I got into it, and I was reading a lot, and experiencing a lot, because, we have this card in Holland.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I can show you. It's like a normal card. When you go to school, you can check in, check out the buses and trains.
Mm-hmm.
So that was financed by the government. So, during my time in school, I used to date like crazy.
Wow. Oh, that's lit. So you was getting out there.
Yeah, I was getting out there because I also had this free pass to, like, basically go everywhere in Holland where I wanted to. I used to date a lot of women, and use the experiments and use the knowledge that I have and use.
Oh man, I love that, man. We share such a similar background because yeah, when I was in high school, I was actually in high school during the pickup artist show when Mystery the dude with the hat had the show.
Mm.
So I didn't know anything about it, but I did know the show was out, and it was just a cool idea. Like, like that's cool that dudes is actually like figuring that out. And I'm in high school, like, So I didn't really get into it, but I knew it was something like that out there. Like it was in my mind. Then, of course, like as I went deeper into it at different times in life, I remember the first thing I learned was it was something called cocky funny. And I used to just get an email from this dude, and I was going to college during this time. It was like going
Yeah.
right into my freshman year of college. And I was like, that's all I knew. But that alone, that one tip alone, had me ahead of like all the other people, you know what I mean? Even in high school, it's the little things. So I was like, okay, but it's just funny to me that during that time, it was a little bit of a movement going on. And it's cool to know you was in the field because the reality is, man, you can only, you learn the most actually interacting, you know what I mean? And that method, that mystery method, man, it took me over like 10 years before I finally fully understood it all the way through. I gave up on it at one point in terms of like understanding the whole process, but I had a partner I was working with out here who would not give up on it. He was like, bro, I'm telling you, man, it's something about it, bro. It's something about it. We gotta figure it out.
Yeah.
Finally, I figured it out, and I was like, man, it has some good points to it. But I guess this is a cool time to think. I'd like to hear your perspective of, in terms of your game, what was you say the most effective early, during the early years or through what you've seen? Did the mystery method and the books help a lot, or were those more like did they really help you gain, or would you say just approaching in general? Like, what would you say did it help your game, or did you think it just helped you learn more?
Well, it helped my understanding of it,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't really use the techniques
Mm-hmm.
that I knew at that time. And
Oh,
at that time, I haven't, I wasn't uh, overseas, like within like Facebook or stuff, to see like a group of men who are sharing those experiences, So about Mystery Method, I haven't read it at that time. It was like maybe like 3 years ago when I
yeah.
had that book.
Mm-hmm.
But um, I think what it did, it activated like this fire to really go out there
Mm-hmm.
and just to meet women
Yeah.
and see how I'm doing it myself. And I had a lot of success without any knowledge of things in the books.
Mm-hmm.
It was second nature for me. I did it like automatically.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my experience with it, and it was like really getting to know the girl,
Mm-hmm.
asking questions, being interested. But that was also a time where I had a lot of time to really like talk to 7, 8 women at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And I was young and I was like all over the place, and I had a lot of success at that time. But as later on in life, yeah, you're thinking about other stuff, grown up stuff. You develop as a man.
Mm-hmm.
You're trying to look like, okay, like before I used to just go out there and date someone. Now I'm having like a standard. Like if you don't,
Mm-hmm.
if I cannot connect with you, before I would still go. I would still like see one, two, three, four, 5 times. But
Right.
now I cannot even see you the second time if I cannot connect.
Wow.
You see, so that was my development. Like I wouldn't really care about that part at that time, like the the connection and all those stuff. It was just like, hey, how you doing? This and that. We like each other, and it's a little bit of fucking, and then it's done.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yeah, no, that's big, man, because that's the level you want to get to for the guys out there listening. Because I find myself in the same situation. Like first you got to just get out there and learn the dynamics. You got to learn the landscape. You know what I mean? Because if you don't take that time, guys, like experimenting and dealing with women, right? And you just go straight into relationships and you go into one relationship for 5 years and another one for 3 years, and you skip this process of dealing with a lot of women. There's a little bit of naivety that you begin to have because you don't really realize what's going on out there in the field. Like we know in the field, it's a whole different. It's crazy in the field, man. It's some stuff you got to build some thick skin because there's some stuff you might not even want to see in the field going on. To be honest, man, there's some things that you don't want to imagine your precious little girl doing out there in the field. But when you out there in the field, you like, look, I know what's going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you
You
know,
recognize those things that like could get you in trouble, or it will make the process harder. And
yeah,
there's also a lot of different people. So
yeah.
if you don't come across them, you don't learn from them.
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
and it's a chaos. Even right now, it's even worse these
Oh my
days.
gosh.
These days, man, come on.
Social media apps, dating apps, like,
Yeah,
it's
I saw your video. About the busted challenge.
yeah,
Man, you just shared one video, and I was like, oh, maybe there will be more. So
yeah,
later on, I looked on YouTube, like what it busted challenge is, because I don't have TikTok. I don't have
yeah.
time for that shit.
Uh-huh.
So I was looking at it, and I see all these women,
Oh man, in the States, bro, I'm on Twitter every day.
God, man, and that's behavior. You know what you said
Yeah.
about that behavior, man.
Mhm.
Like that's a whole nother video, but
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Yeah, we're gonna definitely have to touch on that on the future one because you
yeah,
see the programming, man. It's definitely a program because I can imagine if we take it back to Armenia and just the culture, for example, and if you look in the States and people might view it as progressive, but that's not the case. I don't see it as progressive. I just see it as mind control. I see it as like it's an agenda, like, and it's
yeah,
and I'm not trying to make a conspiracy out of it. I'm just saying right now is a time where this energy is being embraced. And
yeah,
if you're out there in the field and you're trying to keep a girlfriend that's doing like the busted challenge, for example. Not to say she's not a good girl, but you have to understand the energy you're dealing with. That's has some red flags a little bit. Like, okay, she obviously wants attention. You know,
Yeah.
she obviously wants her sexuality embraced. You
Mm.
know, so you're out here in love with this girl, but you don't realize, man, like there's a lot of other energies that are going to be challenging you in this relationship while you're trying to keep her. So, like, the guys got to know, once you get the girl, that's just the start. That is not, there is no happily ever after. You got to
It's
create that
just getting
happily ever after.
started, man.
Like, it's just, man, good luck. Because now that you got this girl, especially this beautiful, if she's beautiful, doing busted challenges with body, and oh, bro, the games have just begun, my friend. You know, so
Yeah.
that's big. You know, and so with that, man, I want to get it. I want to shift a little bit with, you know, you being a trainer, man. And how would you say, you know, being a trainer, being in shape? Have you always been basic, like in shape? Have there ever been times where, you know, or you know, yeah, have you always been in shape, pretty much, or is it something you developed, or?
Yeah, man. I basically always have been in shape. With having like uncles and a father with a
Hmm.
military background.
Okay.
Like when I came here in Holland, I was like 5, and I went directly like you when you come here just to have like a vision, or like
Mhm.
come into a refugee camp,
Wow.
like straight out.
Wow.
You're an outsider. You will live in like this land,
Hmm.
and it's closed, and there's security. You live in this camp until you hear any news of your process to like basically go into society.
Wow.
So that's the setting.
Wow.
Very stressful setting. So at that time, my father sent me to practice judo to be strong, because most of the men where I'm from, they're all like lifting weights, like really the Olympic weights.
Wow.
Is judo, is wrestling,
Mhm.
or like something like boxing.
Okay.
Those kind of sports we do. So
Wow.
the closest one I could do here and the places we knew was judo. So I was like 5 when I started it. I was like 15 when I quitted it.
Hmm.
And within that time, I was black belt judoka, and I
Wow.
was always in shape. I have this um, athletic body,
Hmm.
which I still have and still develop till this day. So I
Wow.
basically always had that, and it was always complemented by women as well till
Wow.
till this day.
Mm. And that's dope, because I kind of like to hear from the perspective of somebody that has organically been on that path. You know, I know it's hard sometimes too, because when you've always been that way, you really, it's sometimes you don't even notice. You know, somebody has to remind you, or, oh wow, bro, like I wish people did that for, you know, or that's, you know what I mean. So, but what would you say you noticed being somebody that wasn't shaping the game relative to, let's say, other guys? How would you say a good physique affects your game, from your personal experience?
Well, I would say like as a man, if you do something like especially fighting, martial arts, something like that, it's like attractive as this, man,
Okay, nice, nice,
for women.
nice. Hmm.
So I had this. I was ahead of also a lot of men because they didn't know how to protect themselves.
Yeah,
I knew, but if
exactly,
I know how to protect myself, I know how to protect a woman as
exactly,
well.
exactly.
And that's what women want. They want a man that can, if they look at it, like, wow, I would like to like go loose when you hold me, like
Yeah.
I can totally surrender when I hold you, or like get lost in you.
Hmm.
So that's what women basically want. If they see you, they know within the first 5 or 10 seconds. We know, like, if they would want to fuck you or be with you.
Absolutely.
And if you have this physique and you can show like you're working out, you're using a lot every day, you're training, and you can protect her, that's like so many walls will drop for her to like getting to know you
Exactly.
without her being conscious of it.
Exactly.
Because most of the things that happen are unconscious. Sometimes we feel attracted to something that we don't also understand why.
Yeah.
But we do because we read on that shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Unconscious part, you know?
Yeah.
But a lot of people just they get misled by themselves sometimes, and then they get into trouble because they're not prepared for the next step within that phase.
Exactly.
So that's something like women search within a man, like he being like a masculine man, like having muscles on him,
Yeah.
which shows that he can provide and protect, and he cares about his body and his health,
Yeah. That's
and he
big, man,
can lead,
because what you gonna say?
and so he can lead.
Exactly, exactly. And that's huge because a lot of guys, are like, man, it doesn't matter, looks don't matter. And one thing, I had a guy that I work with very closely. He always had a hard time with that, man, because he was like, nah, bro, looks matter to a degree. And um, I see a lot of guys when it comes to working out, man, it's about motivation. A lot of guys just don't have the motivation to want to like work out or do them push-ups or get in the gym. So I really think it's important, y'all, that you hear this perspective because, to be honest, I always had a hard time with like working out. I mean, I was an athlete in high school, middle school, so I played basketball. I was always in the gym all the time, but it was more so with athletics, right? So once I get out of high school, I'm not playing basketball anymore. Like, I'm not playing professionally, so there's no level to play at right now. And I don't got that reason to be doing suicides in the gym or, running up and down the court all day. Like, it's like, oh man, I'm chilling now. I'm trying to holler at the girls. I'm trying to chill out. I'm trying to work on music or other things. But the one thing that got me in the gym was to experiment. I was like, man, let me see how my game gets boosted. Like, I do well with women now, but what's going to happen when I get in the gym and build my physique? And I took a little bit of a different path. I was taking protein now. My boy gave me a little formula on how to like, get more like swolled up a little bit, just to have that little bit of a football effect, because at this time I'm in a college town, so it's a bunch of athletes, and the athletes always win the most in the college towns. They get top of the top, and everyone else starts, it's like, and then you got the frats underneath them, they getting up under them, and then everyone else is kind of finding their way under those. So there's a chain to, what I mean, of alphahood, I guess, of getting, the woman that you want, right? The beautiful woman. But as I started to build my physique, I noticed, I was like, this feels kind of good, and that kind of pushes you to them days you don't feel like doing something, you're like, you know what? Let me do these push-ups, let me do my thing so I can, it felt different than being like just a skinny dude out there just trying to bank on being having a nice mouthpiece and an attractive face or something. The body it's like a sub-communication that hits women like genetically.
Yeah.
And so I want the guys to know out there, man, it's worth it investing in your health, man, because it's gonna give you results. You know what I mean? I know a lot of guys might not feel like it. So, I'd like to ask you, I guess from a professional standpoint, because you train guys, I know there's some guys out there that's probably like, man, I'm not even close to being at a physique. Like, let's say at your physique or somebody's physique, like,
Yeah.
they might be out of, like big or out of shape in different ways. And then, so, what advice would you give to somebody that, it's going to take a long, a bit of time for them to get to that level, but they still want to attract women on a high level?
Yeah. So my advice would be like even the first day you start, you're already on the path of getting successful.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's something like most people forget. Like they always want to see the end result, and we forget the process within it, and which we have to enjoy. Like if you're starting right now, you gotta have to have an end goal, and the goal is never like, oh, I do it for the women,
Mm-hmm.
or it can be an experiment, but it's never like based on that. It's like based on your own health, and most important, your own potential.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you aim for that, women want potential.
Yeah.
So when we aim for potential in what our bodies could be and could perform and could lift, We train day by day, and every week, like the kilograms of how much you can push will go up by 2.5 kilograms every week. And before you know, 3, 4 months later, you can lift that shit that other people was lifting, where you were looking up to. Like you can lift it now as well.
Mm-hmm.
But you gotta have, like, you gotta enjoy the process and have a goal to, like, on yourself, like, why would do you want it except for the things that come with it, the women and the attention and the success within that part, it comes with it. But
Yeah.
it's about, like, why do I want this? Because I can do better, I can do bigger. But then, of course, at the same time, you have to know that bigger and better is not better at the same time. It's not, that doesn't mean it's good,
Exactly.
because all people, we don't got, like, we don't got borders anymore. It's like, oh, I want this, oh, I want that, I want it better, I want it bigger. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
no, I can even tell you right now,
Yeah.
women don't even like big men. They don't.
Fellas, man, that's a big one right there. Because I
Yes.
see, yeah, that's a great point you name, because I've heard similar things as well from women directly, actually. You know.
You have to be functional,
Mm-hmm.
like be muscular, but, like, can you survive 3 rounds in the ring?
That's a whole different conversation.
You know, like, you can be all good looking, but if we fight, you have so much muscle that needs so much oxygen,
Yeah.
you will die within 30 seconds. So be functional. You must use your body instead of walking like this straight. If somebody calls your name, you have to switch, like,
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
women don't want that, you know.
Exactly, man. You just have me think, man. You can't even turn your like, hey, what's up? Like you can't even pull the head back.
Like, they get it. So
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
so some guys, they even put, like, testosterone, they inject themselves and they get all this buffy. Women don't like it at all.
Yeah.
But they doing it for the women.
Yeah, exactly.
And then when they get big, when it's time to, like, okay, you did it somewhere for the women, and you don't see yourself in the mirror getting bigger, you have this insecurity problem, I don't know what they call it, but it's like this insecurity problem.
Mm-hmm.
And when it's time to, you know bring it up,
Yeah.
you can't bring it up because it fucks up your whole fucking system.
Exactly, man. I can
So,
imagine all these muscles, they need all of that blood. Like how you got space left, man. That's crazy.
yeah, so when it gets to the point in bed, like the thing where you were doing it for to be this big, like you cannot fuck because your dick cannot go up, man.
Exactly, man. And we all know that's the worst, man. I mean, geez. There's nothing worse than you got a beautiful woman right there just waiting for you and you just fucking, oh man.
Yeah, man.
We're gonna do a video on that at some point in time about the guys on that, because but yeah, so that's, you brought up some great points, man. Number one, that's huge, man, is enjoying the process. And I
Yeah.
love how you said it. It's not about getting a girl, because at first I thought it was, oh, I'm gonna do this and see as an experiment, what's it gonna do to my game. But
Yeah.
after about 3-4 days and you start getting in the loop of it and you start to build the habit, it's like you just start feeling like a great. It helps build your esteem. It's like
Yeah,
it
man.
feels good, like you going to the gym consistently. You just feel like a man. You feel like you're doing, you feel like you're doing what you're supposed to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's big, man. Enjoying the process, man. Like instead of treating the workout like it's something in the way that you have to do, it's treating it like, let me just enjoy each push-up, which I know might sound crazy to some people. Like, how do you enjoy, doing these different exercises? But if you can enjoy the process, man, that is really where it's at. So I'm very happy you highlighted that. And then also, man, it just goes to show you, man, you don't have to be some super swole dude. I noticed women do like a normal, like nice physique. You know what I mean? It's like a nice balance there. You know what I mean?
It has to be proportion.
Yeah, exactly. Proportionate. You know what I mean? So, that's really dope, man. So yeah, that's big right there. So I guess so. The final thing I'll throw at you in terms of a question is just what is a nice little and just so you guys know I'm gonna have you give your information out so you can reach out to him for training because you do virtual coaching as well for any of the people in the States?
Virtual, and I also give like training schemes so people can like really start their first month or two workout to then like basically go use weights and stuff.
Okay.
So I basically everything you need, as long as you really want it and doing it for the right cause.
Okay. Nice. So what would you say is just a baseline thing that you think an everyday guy can work on to start off with, in his journey towards health? You know what I mean? I'm sure you have more of the advanced stuff for those guys that are already in there, but for guys that are just looking for a baseline or any kind of technique that they can kind of use, just like one thing, what do you think is a nice thing for guys to start out with? Like, should it cardio? I'm sure it's a lot of different things at one time, but I just want to see anything you might have out there for them.
Yeah. So there's a couple of things you have to bear in your mind that if you do too much of training, you will be overtrained and you will not produce enough testosterone.
Mm.
Doing less training, not enough training, you won't build it either. So like between 2-3 trainings a week, and I call that like really hard training that you sweat and really have pain in your muscles,
Mm-hmm.
would be the great balance and intensity to really build muscle and testosterone.
Mm.
So if you have to start training, I would recommend like start with giving yourself some numbers. You have to give yourself numbers. Like, okay, if it's about the push-ups, let me start with 30 or 40 push-ups a day, and after I'm done with the push-ups, let me do some 40 or 50 squats after it, and then some lunges and some sit-ups. So after a week, you can turn the 40 into 60 or 80.
Okay.
And that will be like a good start off for people, for men, and also for women if they want, of course. But we're focused on men right now as well. To really start with those numbers and just execute them.
Nice.
Give yourself the numbers, execute them, and see like after a week you will see like, oh, 40. I used to like break down at 40 or 35.
Yeah.
Now it's nothing. I can push to 100 or something.
I like that.
After that, yeah, you got these external weights like a kettlebell or something. You will do 100 with these.
Exactly.
It's like a building block. Start with 20 or 30. I don't know how much you can. Maybe you cannot even do push-ups, and you have to do them on your knees.
Yeah.
Then you fucking do it on your knees. I don't care.
Yeah.
But it creates dopamine. It creates all this kind of hormones that makes you feel good. Your self-esteem builds. You can see your muscles pumped up already. So you have a little bit of vision of how it might look like if it's their standard,
Exactly.
Because when you push your legs or do squats or push-ups, like after 30 minutes, you can see the pump. Exactly. Basically, that pump is all, at least when I was little younger, that was my motivation. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Pump, and this is how it might look like.
Yeah.
Standard, not even training.
Exactly.
So that keeps you moving, but also like the body itself, because you get this building up testosterone, you get dopamine, you see results, and then before you know, you're done basically, and you have to keep it up to maintain it basically.
Exactly. Man, that is amazing, man. You made me, you triggered a few things there, man. Like number one, any ladies listening, it's beautiful because the same process can work for you, for the ladies out there. Number two, I love the fact that it's progressive. So, it's not about doing, building Rome in a day. It's 10, and then you get to 20, and you get to 30. Then you might incorporate 10, other or 10, you might do 30 push-ups now. You went from 10 push-ups to 30 push-ups. Then you throw in another exercise. Now you're doing 2. So I like that gradual build-up where you're not going too far outside of your lane. And then also, I just love the idea of the little gains, like that pump up in your chest, and actually embracing that, like sitting with that. Because, there's not, I realize it's easy to do push-ups and then just go about your day. But that goes back to enjoying the process, guys. Like, you do these little push-ups, and you see a little bit of a gain, take some time, look in the mirror, man, enjoy that. Like, you wasn't doing that a few weeks ago if you're somebody that's just getting back into it. You know what I mean? Embrace whatever. You might be whatever, but you might see a little bit more stiffness in your arm or whatever. And that's what you need to build on. You know what I mean? Because as they say, what you focus on grows. If I take it back to something I learned from a powerful teacher in the past, it was basically you want to magnify your success, and you want to minimize your losses or, the things that aren't working. So in your mind. So you might see that your chest looking strong. You want to blow that up. Because if you blow that up in your mind, you're going to create more of that. And then let's say you might, my stomach's still big. You want to minimize, you want to make that so small and empty it in the trash, like on your computer or something, just empty it in the trash and let it go because, you want to see less of that. And the more your attention goes on your gains, the more you're going to realize, man, you're becoming a winner in your own mind. So that is very powerful, man, in regard to working out, and that's going to be very helpful for you guys, man. So with that, man, do you have any final words, man, related to working out, related to game, anything out there for the people, man, from your vantage point? Because this guy knows game, bro. Me and him met on, this dude, he knows the health side, but trust me, he understands women and male dynamics, but go ahead, man.
Yeah, so definitely I have like some advice. I would say like when you start training and you're building up muscle and you're feeling confident and you carry yourself around with that vibe, women are the best receivers of this kind of realm, catching fights, catching how or what he might think without knowing.
Mm-hmm.
So if you get yourself in that frequency and you have that, you show it off as well, like not showing it off like, oh, look at me, but as like my appearance, they will see muscles, they see shoulders, and they see you will be training. Like they will even sometimes forgive you for the bullshit,
Mm-hmm.
because you have that part steady. Exactly. So you might maybe fuck a conversation up or something, and they will forgive you just because you got also other important things straight.
Exactly.
But it will also in your approach for women, you will have these walls that they have built up high because they meet so much men and so much pussies that act like men, and they've been in relationship with, like, you bring those walls down just because you have this appearance, of what they like, and it's all programmed. They cannot do anything about it. So the more you know about this, and that you have to have muscles as a man on your body, the more women will be open to you. You will have less problems having a conversation. Sometimes you cannot extend the conversation, and they will help you. Just to also get to know you and spend a little bit more time with you at that moment. So it will open a lot for you, just because you can show you're training and you're doing it, and you're also educating your mind also into game, into fitness, but also into women. You have to know information and knowledge about the women, female nature. You have to know it. And you have to also know the dangers that we male got in our lives. And that's like if you talk about testosterone, and if you talk about women and all different industries that have impact on us as men,
Yeah.
uh, like I will start off with the porn industry.
Oh man, that's a good one. That's a
You
great.
know, yeah.
I found
So
out that X videos. My bad. I just found out X videos and Pornhub are actually two of the top 10 most searched websites
right
in
now,
the world right now.
yeah,
I'm talking. You got Google, Facebook, and you got those two. So that's a lot of clicks. But go ahead. My bad. I just had to throw that out there.
yeah. Thanks for that for that part. So what about it? Like it's free. Why is it free?
Mm-hmm.
Because we are the product.
Mm.
You feel me?
Yeah.
It's free because we are the product, and we're trying to get our mind straight, have a good perspective about who are women, what are women, and how are we supposed to treat women.
Yeah.
But what you see and what's being programmed on porn is not healthy.
Yeah.
It's not healthy for our perspective.
Yeah.
But
Definitely.
also like you lose testosterone for nothing.
Yeah.
we
Fact.
try we trying to fitness and build it up because testosterone helps us with the creativity,
Mm-hmm.
being male, also think and be protective.
Mm-hmm.
It fully like turn on our senses as a male.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
if we lose that for not even like having real sex with a woman,
Yeah.
which will should basically be the only way to ejaculate.
Yeah.
And if it's not, then you better keep it within yourself because that's life energy, that's
Yeah.
life force.
Yeah.
If you go into spirituality with that, like it can get so deep.
Yeah, man.
But that's our life force as a male. So don't waste it. Educate yourself about yourself, and knowing what kind of things in life, if it's on internet or outside of it, doesn't matter. What has impact on you, like doing that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
No jerking off. Women even don't like men that's jerking off
Yeah. Yeah.
because you lose your energy, you lose your vibe, you lose also then the need to conversate
Yeah.
because I can stand like right next to the screen and jack off.
Yeah.
But I could invest that and channel that within me to get ideas to make maybe like start a company or something.
That's very true, man. Very. That's facts.
Yeah, so that will be my advice number one because I think we um, let me this word we underrate
Mm-hmm.
like what's what's the effect of that being publicly open for everyone basically.
Yeah.
You see, we also learned about porn.
Yeah.
It teaches us also something. We got to have for game
Yeah.
and our performance in bed.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what I'm talking about. I learned from that, but it's like the addictive part. The part that gets us there, like without us even knowing like what the fuck we're doing.
Yeah.
I've been there. I'm
Mm-hmm.
totally open about it. Like every man is watching porn. If they say they don't,
Yeah.
they lie.
Yeah, they're live. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but
It's not the top 10 for no reason, you know?
exactly. So we are now at a time like we have to educate ourselves about it and understand that whenever you watch something like that, or even if it's on Instagram, if I see ladies now shaking, twerking, or
Yeah,
whatever,
man.
it's also porn on Instagram. But then they have just this latex thing on. Like, okay, what's the difference?
Mm-hmm.
So I just put not interested, and I like some health pictures or videos or some dogs to get this fucking porno out
Yeah.
of my algorithm.
Oh, beautiful.
You know?
Beautiful.
So you have to check it because unconsciously it sneaks in, and then you get this wrong perception, and then and then you treat women differently, and yeah, it's all fucking atomic bomb, man.
Oh,
So
man.
there's a lot of work to do for us as male, but also for females, there's also a lot of work to do, man.
Yeah.
they're being fully comfortable right now.
Yeah. Man, you crushed that, man. Man, I mean, you touched on a lot of big things. I'm so happy you touched on that because semen retention, things like that, that's what we're gonna have to talk about soon. Because it's even more important now that you understand, what you were, that guys understand what you were just saying, because now it's not even just the porn. Now everyday women are playing on your psychology when it comes to sexuality, which makes you very susceptible to manipulation. Like one of the dudes on the Buster Challenge was, oh my gosh, I'll pay your student loans. These dudes you're going on Twitter or you're going on Instagram to just look at your friends or look at normal stuff. And then you got a whole algorithm with a bunch of women looking super seductive, ready to just, I'm not saying they're doing it consciously. They are though, to just ready to vamp on your energy, take some of them views so they can build what they're trying to do. So just like you said, that sexual transmutation, that taking your sexual energy and allowing it to stay with you so it can go into your goals and build your dreams, versus some dude that owns a porn company getting hella money off of the views you're giving them, or this girl getting hella views, the same girl that wouldn't even respond to your message if you send her a message, the same girls that wouldn't even give you the time of day, that would treat you like you're anything.
Yeah.
You're giving all so much vital energy, pure creative energy from yourself to them, without them even deserving it, and it almost, it can get to levels where you're almost like I know guys have felt it, where you're like, damn, I feel like a whore right now or something, man. What am I doing? I'm I'm like, you might as well be thrown out in the streets and just, you ready to give it to anybody. You just, so that's all a part of that evolution of masculinity. And there's no, oh man, the goal should be for a male, to get to a place, or a goal that is, I think is a great place for a guy to get to, is when you see there's 4 or 5 women vying to get your attention, showing their sexuality. And you're like, you don't even see it. Like you just walk into the VIP room with your boy. You're not even worried. You just, it just,
it's like fucking attractive,
Oh man.
If you walk like this,
yeah,
all of them gonna be like, why didn't he look at me?
Exactly.
And they will come like to you, and they will create a situation just to see and talk to you like, why didn't he?
Exactly. Then you got all these other guys thirsting around looking for her, and guess what? While they all looking at those 5 girls are all looking at you, man, because they can feel who the real alpha is. They can feel who's really carrying that legit boss masculine energy. So
that's a part of focus as well, like having focus, knowing what you want in life, and they just feel attracted to that.
Exactly.
But there's also a part like when they behave in that way, we as men have to also let them know like it doesn't have effect on me.
Yeah.
And I will tell you right now that you have to change that, or just leave me alone, because you're not behaving in a way that you could stand right next to me.
Oh man, that's a whole nother level right there, brother, because that is what I think, what you just said is what I think is missing from the game, which is even allowing a busted challenge to happen. A lot of these women don't have, in the modern day, a guy that is powerful enough in his own masculinity where he can check her or guide her to let her know that I don't even like that, to where they will shift their behavior. So it really begins with us. I mean, it begins with us, and things aren't going to change. The more beta guys become, the more swayed they are by a woman's sexuality, the more women are going to begin to display these behaviors.
They have to, because we are not taking responsibility for it.
Exactly.
And we can like discuss it all day, but until the day you take responsibility, you cannot say, oh, this and that. Just take your responsibility, because we are not doing it, so they doing it.
Exactly.
But in the wrong way.
Yeah.
Because they're more sensitive. If you touch them or anything and they say, I've been raped.
Yeah.
Like, they totally win it.
Yeah.
You don't stand a chance as a man.
Yeah.
But it's also because there's also a lot of beta guys.
Yeah.
But that is failed them as well.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest part. Like
Yeah.
some didn't have a dad, or if they did, they
Yeah.
worked 9 to 5, and he didn't know anything. He wasn't investing and telling his little girl or showing it,
Yeah.
because they don't take advice. You know,
Yeah.
they they see, they take over what they see them doing.
Mm-hmm.
And if they see their mother having the pants on in the house and not their father, then they know they can get away.
Yeah.
Like I see ladies doing this crazy TikTok and shaking their booty or whatever
Oh
with
yeah.
their father on the couch,
Wow. Wow.
and their mother.
Wow.
Like I'm like if I was there, I would like smack the fucking hair out of her head.
Yeah, you know, there's mothers and daughters doing it together. I mean, it's literally you're nailed the fact that, man, it's just this falls on the guys, you know, the
Yeah.
guys before us, the guys now. It is a complete reflection of a society when alpha males have digressed, you know, and you're absolutely seeing, you know, in this modern age that, you
But
know.
it's also like when we have to, of course, it's like logical that we have to stand up and do something about it,
Mm-hmm.
and we are doing it. But the way we have to do it, like as soon as we show like a little bit emotion or aggressiveness, which we call like just speaking out, we're
Yeah,
not aggressive, we
yeah,
just feel something, and that's the way we men deal with it.
yeah,
I'm not gonna hurt you, but
mm-hmm.
I will raise my voice.
Yeah,
And that's, for some people, that's already like
yeah, like
something to
punch.
be intimidated by, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
So we have to know and educate ourselves within communication of
mhm.
how do we deliver this message.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or else, if you're weak in that position and you're trying to throw some things, you will step in the landmine for all
Facts,
this.
man. You'll get eaten alive. You'll have a whole tribe of women coming after your ass because you're
Exactly.
not ready for that shit. That's
Yeah.
facts.
So there's a lot of things we have to educate ourselves on, which we don't fucking know.
Yeah,
Our parents didn't told us.
mhm.
School didn't told. We
Yeah,
have to speak it ourselves, and that's why me and Johnny are
mm-hmm.
doing these videos for you guys.
Yeah,
So you hear it from us. We're young guys. We're in the game. We're living this right now, and
yeah,
we're telling you, it's like 2021.
yeah,
We have to stake our game up,
yeah,
because these days, man, people can be she-male, male, transgender.
yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, the idea of male and masculine energy is so blurred right now. Facts. It's so important right now to highlight what masculine energy is relative to feminine energy, because right now the lines have been blurred. Like people don't even know there's a difference. That's
And they do
facts.
it on purpose. So they confuse us.
Yes.
So we keep on getting married,
Yeah.
getting children,
Mhm.
feeding the system, and then finally realize this is our prison we created because Disney told us so.
Exactly. Exactly. Man, I love it, man. Damn, Narek. This is no joke, brother. So look, guys, you know, we're gonna keep this information coming. In the meantime, Narek, let them know, you know, where can they find you, where can they follow you, what you got going on right now. Well, I'll have him back on some more episodes. You know, I want you guys to leave comments, whatever you guys want us to talk about. But in the meantime, let them know where they can find you.
So you can find me at athletic lower dash static on Instagram. That's the platform I share my information. I show my trainings and stuff. You can contact me there and be open to do this so I can help you guys. And basically there you can find everything, my information about me. You can send me a message, you can call me there, whatever you like. And we will share the info underneath this video so you can read it and know exactly what you have to type in. um, and yeah, just stay tuned for more videos. We will be sharing about different type of themes we'll be talking about. So that's where you can find me and have direct contact with me. Yeah, athletic lower dash static.
Beautiful, beautiful. And I'll have all the information down there. And also make sure you guys like and subscribe the video, spread the word. you know, this is beautiful because we're international. So, you know, I'm looking forward to talking about some things too about, you know, dynamics with women. I know a lot of guys who travel and just to experience women from different areas and things like that. So that lets you know, guys, this movement is a national, I mean, I'm sorry, this is international movement. We're in two different countries, but we're still noticing similar things within the masculine feminine energy. And that just shows you how powerful this energy is in the fabric of reality. It's not just in one place or another. This is everyone's experience. We're all seeing the same things, man. So, and you know, guys, continue, like, subscribe, you know, visit the patreon.com/5D transformations. And aside from that, man, we appreciate y'all for listening. You know what I mean? And always remember, let the God within you shine bright. And my man Narek, man, we're gonna be back with some more later on, man. Thanks for being on the episode, brother.
Definitely. God bless.
Peace, man. You already know.
Peace.